Welcome to the Haunted Hangover Podcast. I'm Louie, and as always, I'm joined by my bud Dave.
Hey.
And we're also joined by two very special guests. This is the first time we're having more than one person on as a guest, Dave.
That's right.
And that is Dotty and Ghoulia Spartans from the I Spit in Your Mouth podcast. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. I am the most special guest you will ever have.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Real quick, before we get into the meat and potatoes of stuff, Ghoulia here is the reason why Dave and I met many moons ago. Right, Ghoulia?
That is very correct. Unfortunately, it's a romance that I got kicked out of.
So honestly, Haunted Hangover wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for you.
That's why I'm the most special guest you will ever have.
Thanks, Ghoulia.
You're very welcome, my dear.
So, talk a little bit about the I Spit in Your Mouth podcast. Like, what made you guys want to start it? What's it all about? Like, let our audience know why they should check you guys out.
So,
because we're amazing, A.
Yes. And I had a podcast before this. It was a true crime podcast, and I really enjoyed it, but it kind of died off of natural causes, unfortunately. And I wanted to get back into podcasting, and I said, you know what, I love horror. I would love to do something in the horror realm. And I was sitting by the pool last summer, and I was talking to Ghoulia, and I said, I just think I need a co-host, and I don't know who would want to do it with me. And Ghoulia was like, bitch, I'll do it.
And I think I was drunk.
You definitely were drunk. And you're like, why wouldn't you ask me? And I was like, well, because you never want to do anything that involves having attention on you.
Let me ask you guys a question. How do you guys know each other? How'd you meet?
So we met because when I moved up to our lovely town of Peekskill, New York.
It is lovely.
Lovely, beautiful. I started going to a local bar over here called Birdsall House, and they had a drag show one night, so I decided to attend. Dottie is the host of the local drag show at Birdsall House, and I just kept awkwardly going and sitting there by myself quietly because that's what I do best. And one day, Dottie came up to me, and
drunkenly said, we should hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get together and watch horror movies and order Chinese food.
And I think we did that the next day.
Yeah.
And it was like kind
That's
of an
amazing.
awkward first date. Like I kind of sat on the couch and I was just like, oh my God, like I don't know, do I leave a couch cushion in between us? Do I get closer? Is it okay if I burp? And but ever since then it was really smooth sailing.
Yeah, it just took off from there. And then and Ghoulia has been my assistant for my drag shows, helping me get dressed, tightening my corset, running back to my house in the middle of a show because my corset broke and she had to get my other one. And then my co-host for the podcast, which is super fun. And we get to talk to all kinds of fantastic people who are working in horror, whether it be writers, directors, acturs,
Music producers. Like some fucking douchebag who I know.
Yeah. David Catalano, who our first ever, second ever? First or second ever guest.
Second, I think.
Yeah, and also who graciously allowed us to use his music for our theme.
Yeah, which is sick.
It's fantastic. And I was thinking about you the other day because the song that we use for our theme is Mortal Kombat, and and then I was watching the Mortal Kombat movie, and I was like,
Yep.
Yeah, you guys should definitely go check out that episode. That was a good episode. I did listen. It was good.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun being on that show, and I was very flattered to be asked to be on. So thank you. I appreciate you too.
I know. We've been wanting to get both of you on and do our format, which is no format and a sloppy fucking mess.
yeah.
So hopefully one day we'll do the opposite of this crossover.
I'm down.
Yeah,
Let me know.
Because the whole point, reason why we wanted to do the podcast in the first place was we wanted to talk to other spooky bitches, and
Y'all two are pretty spoopy.
and you know, and give a platform for people who want to either, you know, reach a new audience, or they want to get closer to the audience they already have,
Or just talk shit.
or just drink some prosecco and talk shit. Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of fun. So,
and also I just want, like, there's like people that I want to interview just for my own guilty pleasure of interviewing certain people. So I'm like, now I have a reason to reach out to them and be like, hey, you want to be on my podcast? We're friends now.
Yeah, you have a good dynamic.
We definitely do focus a little bit more on queer guests because we feel like there might not be much of a platform for queer folks, but also we love indie cisgendered people, indie, like, you know, straight people, just like people who want to get their name and platform out there.
That's awesome.
Oh, we love that.
And on the subject of Halloween, because, you know, the Haunted Hangover Podcast is a Halloween podcast.
Oh, is it? I had no idea.
Oh, you didn't know
I thought
that?
it was just about hangovers and them being haunted, which is usually what happens to me every weekend.
Yeah, so on the subject of Halloween, I want to hear from each of you individually, why is it special to you specifically?
I think for me, Halloween was always the time when people wanted to be weird, you know? So it's like I was weird all the time. So when that weirdness was celebrated, suddenly it was like, this is my time. Like, this is when I'm cool because I'm the weird bitch who reads Anne Rice novels and threatens to bite people. So now, like, it's my season now, you know?
Yeah.
And so I always looked forward to Halloween because I was like, this is the one time of year when it's cool to be freaky.
That's usually like what people say. Yeah, that's a good... I always say it's like the time of the year where if you like weird shit, it's just normal. Like, like if you like, you know, a zombie or a corpse, if you want to put like a fake corpse on your lawn, it's cool. You know, you can't do that shit during Christmas.
If you want to put a real corpse on your lawn,
it's cool.
Or a real corpse. So that's kind of like, I feel like whenever we have guests in this show, that's always kind of the answer. Like, it's the one time of year where I feel normal and my interests are just kind of normal. And, you know, you can walk into a store, see a bunch of skulls, jack-o'-lanterns, tombstones, and everyone's cool with it. You know, if you did that in April, people would be like, what the fuck?
See, it is very enchanting. I think that when you walk into a store and you get to walk in and see everything that just like brings you kind of joy and just be surrounded by it everywhere, I think that's the feeling more than anything. And I don't know, I like the season. I like that bite in the air when it's about to be winter, but it's just like cozy enough. I like the smell of the dead leaves falling, that crisp little bite in the air. Oh my God, everything's just so magical.
She also hates it when it's warm.
Yeah, I don't like the heat.
So Halloween is pretty good for her.
I melt.
Ghoulia and I have hung out several times during the summer, and I know you're not a fan of of when it's 90 degrees. So neither am I. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the hot weather either.
This doesn't do well in the heat.
To be fair, last summer I got her to the beach and the pool a lot.
True.
I don't know how I did it.
Everything was closed. We were in a global pandemic and I had no other fucking options.
So Ghoulia, you and I have hung out on Halloween several times.
Many times, actually, I think.
Yeah, many times in the past. And I thought it would be fun to talk about some of our favorite Halloween memories. So since you guys are our guest, hit us with one of your favorite Halloween memories.
There's this weird guy on Channel 9 this fall, and I guarantee he'll give you nightmares. His name is Freddy something or other, but immediately following Freddy, I'm back. Now, if I'm Mistress of the Dark and Freddy's gonna give you nightmares, I would think twice before falling asleep Saturday night. Remember, don't miss A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Nightmare, and me, Elvira, Saturdays beginning at 10 p.m. Nowhere else but Channel 9.
I have a Halloween weekend memory, and then I have a little childhood memory. The Halloween weekend memory I have was the Blizzard, where I was also with you, and we decided to go to Chiller Theater, and I did not have to wait in a line to meet fucking Elvira.
Yes,
the line was only 10 minutes long.
Yes, I remember that. And what I remember about that is going to meet her, and like my mom was there, Remember that?
Yep.
My mom was
Yep.
actually with us. I don't know why my mother was with us. Like, I think she just wanted to go.
That's amazing.
No, yeah, dude, it was actually a great chiller theater because, like Emily said, there was no one there because there was a random, like, blizzard happened.
I've never been to one of those.
It's a cool convention. It's like every other horror convention. But yeah, I remember meeting Elvira, and she was in full costume, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remember them advertising that event as, like, her last appearance on the East Coast in costume.
They always say that.
No, I don't think she's been back on the East Coast in costume, though. I think she's only come back as Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah, it's. I think I remember that being, like, the big thing. They were like, you know, meet Elvira in person for the last time. I was like, what, is she dying? Like, what the hell is going on? But knock on wood, that's Elvira. We don't talk about her in that way.
she's gonna outlive us
Yes.
all.
But yeah, I remember that because, you know, at most of these conventions, you're not allowed to take a photo. And my mom was, like, taking all the photos, and they just let her.
I got a sneaky
didn't
one
care.
of me handing my little photo over to her and her signing it.
And I remember I got a vinyl. She had like an EP
Yeah.
or something with like 2 songs that she sang, like 2 Halloween songs. I forget what they are. I still have it. I have her autographed like twice or 3 times or something like that. And I remember that being really cool. I actually met Pam Grier that day too.
Yeah, I did too.
Yes,
That's
yes,
a good
that was
one.
the same event. That was a good, and she never does conventions. Pam Grier is not really Halloween related, but regardless, Pam Grier is fucking awesome. Yeah,
She's adjacent though.
Pam Grier rules, and she doesn't do many conventions at, like, I don't think I've seen her at a convention since. So that was just cool. I'm a huge Pam Grier fan, so.
And then I
cool.
just have a random memory about me being super stoked. I don't think I've ever been so stoked about a Halloween costume as I was to be the fucking Pink Ranger when I was a kid.
Understandable.
The Pink Ranger. Dave, did you ever dress up as a Power Ranger when you were a kid?
No, but I mean, I fuck with the Power Rangers. Listen, my mother dressed me up as a fucking vampire every damn Halloween, and it was always a little bit different than the last one, and it was awesome. So I found a picture. I'm gonna send it to Louie. My mom had me dressed in all white as a vampire. And it's fucking awesome.
An all-white vamp. What did she use? Like your communion suit or some shit?
I had like a collared white shirt on, white gloves, and like a medallion, and like the widow's peak and fangs and a bat. And I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you. It's pretty good.
As you would say, that's some king shit right there.
King shit.
King shit.
For sure.
I don't remember if I ever dressed up as a Power Ranger.
No.
I thought I maybe dressed up as the Green Ranger one year, but
You would.
I don't maybe. I don't even remember. The one costume I remember dressing up as a kid was Jim Carrey's The Riddler, and that was around that same time probably.
I think
and
so.
I remember my mom spray painting my hair pink. Because remember the movie, he had pink hair? And I remember I had the cane. Like the cane he has in the movie, but it's like plastic.
Oh, yeah.
And like
I
shitty.
can
And
picture you.
I thought I was the shit.
Being a scraggy little dickhead kid dressed as the Riddler, going, "Oh, the Riddler!" I would like to wring your neck if I saw you walking down the street.
Nah, I was a quiet kid, dude. I was never
I'm kidding.
that type of kid. I wasn't really that annoying. I don't think I was. That's what I've been told.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny when you're a kid and like you want to dress up as a costume. You're so excited, like your story, Ghoulia with the Pink Power Ranger. Like that year, '95, when Batman Forever came out, I wanted to be the Riddler. I was just fucking excited. I was like, I'm gonna be the Riddler. I'm gonna have the pink hair, the cane. And what's funny is kids' costumes are always shitty. So it's not like spandex tight like in the movie. It's all baggy and loose and shit on me. But I thought it was like legit. Like I looked like screen accurate.
That's even better though.
King shit.
King shit. That's it. I thought I had the most fucking realistic adaptation of the Riddler. Better than the movie in my mind. But what's funny is I don't think I have any pictures of me as the Riddler.
I was gonna say that sucks.
I know. I want to see that.
I might. I have to like look through my mom's like old albums.
Dottie,
what about you, Dottie?
What about you?
For Halloween memories, I think I'll do exactly what you did. So I'll do Halloween night memory. The time when you fell down the stairs.
Oh my god!
Our friend Alicia used to throw a Halloween party every year.
Well,
and it was like wild. Like people, like it was like everybody and their mother would show up and drink, and there was a DJ, and it was wild. And so one year we went. My Halloween costume was I dressed like every single guy who's ever sold you weed in college. And I had this like long straight blonde wig with like dark root, and like I wore like a drug rug, and I poured patchouli oil all over myself.
You smelled wild that night.
I did.
You smelled wild.
And then and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. But then Ghoulia was walking down the stairs to go outside and slipped and like rolled her ankle, and for the rest of the night had to like park herself on a couch with her foot up.
And if I know Ghoulia well, Ghoulia is a fast fucking walker, so I could only imagine how much pain she probably was in, because if you're running down the steps, because I know how she walks, I could imagine that probably hurt.
But you know, that was the Halloween where I had like 6 different costumes for that whole weekend. It was pretty wild.
That was a good weekend.
It was. My Halloween like weekend. Well, it wasn't necessarily Halloween weekend, but it was 2 years ago. I went to Orlando for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and that was one of the sickest experiences.
Yes,
I could only imagine.
Halloween Horror Nights is awesome.
I'd never been before. I mean, I've been to Six Flags for Fright Fest a million times, but never been to Halloween Horror Nights, and it was so wild. And the first haunt that we did was House of a Thousand Corpses, and it was so well done. It was fantastic.
Oh shit! Look at that little. Oh wait, stop it!
Dave's
that
wearing
shirt,
a House of a Thousand Corpses. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I love that.
That's sick.
But it was so good. We had, me and my friend Morgan had so much fun. And I'm like, at this point, I just can't wait to get back and do it again. And then my childhood memory, I have so many childhood memories. My mother used to make all my costumes when I was a kid.
Yo, that's that Italian mom shit.
She made me this Barney costume out of felt that was fucking out of control. When I tell you, she made a giant Barney headpiece that strapped under my chin. It was wild. And then like for so many years I was Dracula for Halloween because I thought I was the coolest fucking kid.
That might be an Italian thing.
Yeah. And then the one that really stands out, two that actually really stand out. One year I was a mummy, and it was really intense because my mother actually wrapped me fully in gauze. And she was like, well, I hope you went to the bathroom before I did this, because we're not being able to take it off.
And that is when Dottie learned how to be a drag queen.
Yes. And then one year I was Uncle Fester, and we actually got this like light bulb magic trick where it's like there was a ring to it, and then when you touch the ring to the light bulb, it lights up. So we like opened it up so that I could put it in my mouth, so when I stuck the light bulb in my mouth, it would light up.
Stop, that's so cute.
Can I tell you,
That's
I did
great.
not win the fucking costume contest, and I was really mad about it.
Oh, I'd be pissed off.
Homophobic.
That sucks.
Right?
Homophobic.
I was like, I literally made the light bulb light up when I put it in my mouth. What's wrong with you people?
Where was this? At a school?
This was back in the Bronx.
Yo, fuck the Bronx.
Fucking Bronx.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be getting to the Bronx later. Don't worry about it. Yeah. My mother, she used to make our costumes as well. I have a bunch of pictures of me dressed as like a pirate, but I never dressed as Barney. I think I was already too old when Barney was like popular, but my sister wasn't. And my sister, who she hosts all the cocktail cauldrons on our Instagram page and on YouTube, I have a picture of her. She's got to be like 3 years old, wearing a baby bop. Homemade
not the baby bop.
She's got like a bottle. She does not look happy because the costume looks uncomfortable because it's that big headpiece that you were kind of talking about. So I'm pretty sure our mothers use the same like stencils, I guess, to cut the fabric, because it's like it was like your face was here, and then above your head was like Barney or Baby Bop's head.
Yes,
and then you had like the uncomfortable costume, like jumpsuit. So that's pretty funny.
Correct. And so my mother made me made me Barney, and then she made her best friend's daughter Baby Bop, and we have pictures of us in these giant. Honestly, I'm surprised I don't have neck problems. Like it was so heavy.
Oh my
this
God.
giant headpiece.
What was the yellow dinosaur's name? Was it BJ?
Not BJ.
I think it might have been. I think it might
Was
have
it
been.
really?
Yeah.
Yo, his name was BJ.
Can someone please Google? Oh, I think Dottie's Googling this because was it really fucking BJ?
I think so.
Oh my God, it was BJ.
I have to look this up now.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. I haven't
BJ
thought
is
about him in a long
7-year-old
time.
yellow male protoceratops.
He's a proto.
Wait, what was Baby
with
Bop?
a protoceratops? What did you say?
Protoceratops.
Protoceratops.
Is that a real? That's like.
I
I
guess
thought he was
so.
like a. I thought he was like a. What was the a triceratops? That's what I thought he was. I guess there was a different type of dinosaur. But yeah, his name was BJ. So.
Surprise! Happy Halloween!
Hi, BJ.
That's me.
So, let's take this back to, I want to say 1998, 1999, sophomore year of high school. So I've always been infatuated with the really shitty kids in my neighborhood in high school, like the kids that were like just bullies and just were like kind of like, in my head I always had this image of these kids as like these just really fucked up kids who just did terrible things, and I was always drawn to that. I don't know why. I write music about it. It's just something that strikes a chord with me. I can't really explain it. So with that being said, that particular Halloween, I'm not sure. I have to look this up. It might have been on a Friday. There's gonna be people in this story that are going to remain anonymous.
Fuck that.
So there was a
Name their names.
I'm sorry. No.
We will blur it out. Louis will put a little beep or like a little woo sound over it or something just to keep it a little spooky,
there was
but name their names.
No. There was a particular person that was rumored to have been driving around on Halloween night, egging and like beating up people. And so throughout the night, we had our little clique of, we'd go trick-or-treating, and then like once 9 o'clock came around, that was the time when like shit went down. Like we were walking around, egging each other, shaving creaming each other, just doing all kinds of fuckery. And the rumor was this guy was driving around in his convertible, throwing shit at people, and we were all on alert. So we had met up with another group of kids, and we're standing on the edge of like someone's lawn and like a fucking driveway. And all of a sudden you hear this car peel out, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, it's him. We got to get the fuck out of here." And just shit started, everybody started running, everybody started just panicking. And I don't know if you guys can picture this. So some lawns divide from their driveway with little bricks. I tripped over a brick, and one of my friends who was dressed as a condom was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm very happy that he was dressed as a condom.
Listen, we love safe sex. Well, no one loves safe sex, actually. No one loves safe sex.
Dave, really quick before you continue the story, can you describe what the condom costume looked like?
That's exactly what I was gonna do. So he had an actual, like, I think it was called Captain Condom. It was an actual costume you could buy at like Party City or some stupid store. So what he did was he wore all long johns, like white long johns, and he had like this. I don't know if it was like a headpiece, but I can't even. So he had two costumes with him. So when this happened, and when I tripped, he's like, "Dave got hit with a pumpkin," because that was a rumor. This kid was throwing pumpkins at people. So Jesus. I tripped, and he's like, "Guys, Dave got hit with a pumpkin. We gotta go get him." And he Dude, he quickly changed into his next costume. He got the fuck out of that costume. He's like, I am changing my costume right now. He did not want to be that condom costume anymore.
What was the other costume? Because
I don't
nothing beats that
honestly
condom
don't
costume.
remember.
How old were you? You were in high school.
I don't know.
You said,
So
right?
you gotta think 14 years old, 15.
And a kid was a condom. Honestly, I love that. I love that.
Oh, it's great.
Maybe if his parents had worn a condom, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Oh boy. So
maybe
we
mom
all-
had just swallowed.
yeah. So we all disperse, right?
Listen,
And
I would have been his father, but the monkey beat me up the stairs. So
Oh my god.
Oh
I don't
jeez.
understand. Wait, oh, okay.
I would have been his father,
Oh
but the
my
bum had
God.
exact change.
Yeah, oh my god. Y'all,
Mic
I'm
drop.
tired. This is like, I feel real done.
Sorry. This is how our podcast goes, so I'm
Sorry.
It's all right. I think we're
It's
meshing
okay.
well. So listen, we all disperse. So while we're all in little groups, so this person really, the rumor was true. This fucking dude was driving around fucking with everybody. So I'm standing on a corner, or walking around a corner rather, and the car pulls up, and there's someone else down the block, and they start egging. And then I'm staring at the other person that's with this person that's eggy people. And the kid doesn't know what to do because we're just staring at each other. So he just lobs an egg at me. Like it hits me in the arm. And I'm just like, all right. It's like, okay. So now this is going on all night. So you picture all these kids with fucking shaving cream in their hair all over their face, the bootleg Jason masks, just all kinds of crap. And the finale of that specific Halloween memory was there was another kid who was older that was with another kid that was older that did not like each other, and they were mouthing off to one another. The one kid maced him in the eye with mace,
Are you fucking...
obviously.
Wait. He
Jesus.
maced him with mace? Did he really?
Yes.
Did he really do
So-
that? But what else could he have maced him with? Did he mace him with
Like an actual physical mace. Like he whacked him in the face with a mace.
Thank you. Thank you, Dottie. Thank you. Fuck you.
Love you.
Just kidding. I love you too. So he maces this kid, and then the following day, well, that's why I'm saying I think this was on a Friday. The following Monday in school, the kid that got maced walks into the kid that maced him homeroom and punches him right in the fucking face in front of everybody and knocks him out.
Yo, he deserves it.
It just was
that
chaotic
kid.
Halloween. That was how Halloweens were over here. Like, it was, like, yes, there was wholesome trick-or-treating, and it was suburbia, but there was also this bullshit going on, which makes me love Halloween so much more.
The thing that kills me, though, is that, like, that's chaotic. That is pure fucking chaos. And then everyone thinks that us kids who grew up in the city were the ones getting into trouble. I just dicked around all fucking night, and I might have drank a 40 or two. Like, I wasn't going ahead fucking macing people.
Because those maces are very heavy, and they hurt. They
I
can
know.
cause brain damage.
I couldn't carry that around in my little fanny pack.
So much blood.
Yo, maces are tough.
My favorite part of this story is all I'm doing is picturing a dude in a convertible with
Dressed as a
like
condom.
No, not the condom guy.
That's
but
honestly-
in the convertible.
I love it all, but, like, all I'm picturing is condom guy.
A man on a
Dave's
condom.
friend dressed as a condom.
He's wearing a condom. He's on a horse, wielding a mace.
I mean,
Whack right in the
we
face.
could have used him doing that for sure. He and my friend dressed as that just to be like he thought it was silly and funny. But as soon as the shit went down, he wanted to get out of that costume, which was hilarious.
He dressed as a tampon after that. That's what he switched. That's what he switched into.
Oh man.
Going back to what I was saying before, but yeah, all I'm picturing is a dude in like a red convertible with like
It might have been
tons
red.
of pumpkins in his back seat because apparently he was fucking chucking pumpkins at kids.
Oh, that's
so
what
this dude
there
just
was-
went to like Home Depot and bought a bunch of pumpkins. So that's just the funny thing. Did you see the guy in the car, or no? It was like
Yeah.
you saw the dude.
Yeah, it was two people in the car, yeah.
And they were just driving around Mineola and just fucking hurting people?
Yep.
Crazy, dude.
I mean, like, when I picture a bad teenager, like a rebel-y teenager, all I think is Crispin Glover in A River's Edge.
Oh, that's a good description.
Like, that's just my always go-to. You know, the beanie, the long hair, and I have the weird attraction to Crispin Glover.
See, I always go to Teen Witch. What was his name?
Oh,
I don't remember the character. They did that whole rap. Take that! Stop it!
I forget. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know. I don't remember his name, though.
I don't remember it either. Oh, man. I'm bummed that I don't remember
but
it.
Honestly,
listen.
Greatest musical in history. Teen Witch.
Yo, as you know, as fucked up as that story could be, I mean, I wouldn't have Halloween any other way. So that is one of my favorite Halloween memories.
Hello, all of my spooky spectators. It's Sam here to bring you your Cocktail Cauldron Minute. Earlier this month, we crafted a delicious cocktail to celebrate yet another hybrid holiday, both May the 4th and Cinco de Mayo, and I assure you the force was strong with this one. We decided to replicate Star Wars' blue milk as seen in the films, and of course added our own twist with some good old tequila, because it was Cinco de Mayo after all. Perhaps the best part is that this blue milk is made dairy-free and of course can also be made without alcohol, because here at Haunted Hangover, we like to give you options. What was that? You missed it? Well, you are in luck. The recipe can be found over on our Instagram at Haunted Hangover. And while you're at it, give us a follow and tune in to Cocktail Cauldron Live on Instagram for our next cocktail to celebrate the month of Pride. It's gonna be twisted. I'll see you there.
I remember going trick-or-treating one time, and I believe this was in 1990, right? So Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare had just come out, so like Freddy Krueger was like super popular. I don't know if you guys remember that movie. Like Freddy
got
was
it like 7 times on pay-per-view.
Yeah, he was like at that point I think they had like a funeral for him, and I remember on all the advertisements, remember it was like a pile of clothes was like on the poster because like they were finally gonna kill him.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
I don't remember that poster.
Really? It's amazing. It's a great poster.
No, I'm trying to think back.
Well, you have your phone in your hand, so Google it.
Yeah, there you go.
Freddy was still very popular. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the really shitty Freddy gloves that they used to sell that were like in the action figure pack.
Yeah,
do you guys remember that?
Vaguely, which is weird. I don't remember anything, but I vaguely remember that.
Well, Freddy was on everything, like, during that time. He had a toy, he had a bunch of shit. He had a doll. There was tons of Freddy toys in, like, the late 80s, early 90s. So, yeah, so that glove was very popular. I remember seeing it everywhere. So, I remember trick-or-treating, and I lived in the Bronx. And I didn't live in a house. It wasn't the suburbs. It was the city. So I didn't go to too many home haunts when I was a kid. That wasn't really a thing. Whenever I went to a haunted attraction, it would have to be something I went to. I think, Dave, and I think we've spoken about it, you went to more home haunts because you lived in the suburbs. So it was a little different. Yep. So this one night on Halloween, we're trick-or-treating, and I remember not being scared of anything. I was really young. So, like, everything freaks you out, rubber mask, and I think Dave and I have spoken about that as well, how, you know, when you're a kid, everything freaks you out that's Halloween related. So I remember it being towards the end of the night, and we knock on this door. There's no Halloween decorations. It's just a random apartment. And usually in apartment buildings, when you knock on certain doors, some people open, some people don't, because not everyone celebrates Halloween. Different cultures.
You can say it. Just
celebrate.
Fuck Jehovah's Witnesses. You can say it. That's right.
Yes.
They're not going to be listening.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I guess so.
They don't believe in us.
So I knock on the door, and I don't remember if it was the Nightmare on Elm Street music, but some creepy music played. And that Freddy glove, like, creeped around, grabbed, like, the ledge of the door, and just went down, like, just brought its hands down.
Oh, I love that.
And then went back into the apartment. So I'm there. At this point, I probably hadn't seen... Maybe I'd seen clips of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 on, like, Channel 11 or something like that. Like, I had seen commercials and I had seen clips, but never sat through an entire movie, I think, at this point. And I'm sitting there and I'm super duper confused, but I knew who Freddy was. So a couple seconds later, this apartment, they throw a fake severed arm at us. They just chuck it, and it's like me, my mom, and some other family member was there. Was another kid there. I don't remember who it wasn't my sister. And I fucking run down like the hall, and then this like older woman emerges and just gives us candy like it's nothing. And I remember just being like, why would you do this to a kid? Like,
why wouldn't you do it to a kid?
I know.
I would 100% do that to a kid.
I live to scare children.
No, and it wasn't so much like the Freddy glove. It was the fact that they threw a fake severed arm at us. And I the memory's a little fuzzy because this was like fucking almost 30 years ago. But I feel like they might have stuck some shit on the fake arm or the limb, because I remember like stuff flying everywhere. In my brain, it's like rubber bands, but that doesn't sound right. So it might have been like confetti or some shit. But just the fact that they chucked like a fake body part at us, it was like crazy. And then honestly, and I think I've said this, yeah, when it comes to like Halloween memories when you're like a kid, I always say like when you think back, it was way more frightening than it actually was. So like I'm sure, because we've talked about on a previous, I think on our Q&A show, Dave, we talked about my Michael Myers memory when I saw a guy dressed as Michael Myers and I thought it was Michael Myers. Yeah. So at this point, you see that shitty Freddy glove and you're like, this is fucking Freddy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a second, why is like this guy's not real, you know? But in your head, you're like, oh, you don't know. You're on the fence if that's true or not, if Freddy's a real guy. But yeah, I just always found it weird how they just threw more so the body part than the Freddy glove. And then we're like, hey, here's some candy. So
they're like, fuck them kids, here.
Probably. And it's weird because I wonder if kids now, as I feel like kids in 2021 are raised very differently. Like, would a kid now know who Freddy Krueger is that young? Probably not. Kids are way more sheltered now.
Definitely. I think that all of us are at least in a similar age range where we were able to grow up without being very sheltered and kind of exposed to some weird, creepy, fun shit.
Were you guys scared of Freddy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like all kids, like our age, when we were young, were scared.
Well,
like he was the scary one.
He's my fave now, but like he's my fave because I was scared of him. Like I was scared of him more than any of the other slashers of that era.
Well, because the other slashers are like, they're just guys with knives. Whereas Freddy is like, he penetrates your dreams.
Everyone has to fucking sleep.
Yeah, you can't get away from him.
And I like the idea of like the descent into madness that you get if you don't sleep.
The funny thing is, at the time, I'm pretty sure there was not a good Freddy costume in existence. So that shitty glove and like the shitty rubber mask was like, I think, all you could find.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because unless you're doing your own burn makeup, like you're gonna look dumb.
Yeah, no one.
You're gonna look like the fucking remake.
Yeah, and like, oh my god, girl.
I've never even seen it. I heard it's terrible.
It is pretty bad. The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is
I refuse to watch it.
Some hot garbage.
I do not believe in remakes. But I will say I saw a picture and I was like, oh no.
Wasn't it CGI?
Oh no, why did we do this?
It was Jackie Earle Haley, who's a good actor, but even he couldn't save that movie. I don't think many people revisit it, so.
So when we were kids, there was a few friends that lived down the block from me, and we used to argue how Freddy died. And my one friend would always fight that. He would say, no, Freddy was put in a sack and thrown over a barbed wire fence and set on fire. That's how he died. And we would argue about how he actually died. And it was always the argument that he got thrown over a barbed wire fence in a sack and lit on fire.
Oh my god.
Correct. That's exactly how it happened. You can't change my mind now.
Sold.
That's how it happened in the remake.
Oh my god.
We can't start that rumor. We can totally start that rumor.
We could start that rumor.
No
one saw it.
That's how it happens in the remake.
No one saw it.
I swear.
This is where it starts.
Freddy was put in a bag and thrown over a
Freddy versus the burlap sack.
I was gonna say the burlap sack.
Listen, Freddy versus the burlap sack would be a way better movie than Freddy versus Jason. I can guarantee you right now.
Honestly, you're probably not wrong. Doesn't take much.
I know I'm
Doesn't
not
take
wrong.
much.
Because that movie was garbage.
Garbage.
And it makes me sad. As a Jason Voorhees stan, I hate that movie so much. And yet I still watch it.
I watched it and I was like, oh no, baby, this is not good.
The only Friday the 13th movie I haven't watched more than once was Jason X. Because I refuse to watch Jason X more than once.
Fair. Very fair.
I saw Freddy vs. Jason in the theater, and it was a fuck of a time. I'll tell you that, because people were taking bets. Like, people around me were like, "Yo, who do you think's gonna win, Jason or Freddy?" And literally, people are taking bets. And like, there was one scene where like Freddy's fucking with Jason, and he throws a boiler on him. And then this one dude gets up and goes, "I told you, Jason's benching at least 800 pounds." And I was like, holy shit. Like, just all kinds of crazy shit. So for me, I thought it was an entertaining movie. But I guess it was also
it's entertaining,
setting.
but it's terrible.
Seeing Freddy versus Jason was an experience. I remember that being a super hyped movie. And, like, everyone was like, who's going to win? Didn't they have a weigh-in? With like Michael Buffer, like let's get ready to rumble.
They had something like that.
It was a big deal, dude. I will respect Freddy versus Jason as an event more so than a movie.
Freddy versus Jason.
Place your bets.
So those were more Halloween memories. Dottie, Ghoulia, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having us. We
Absolute
had a wonderful
pleasure
time.
as well over here.
Where can people find you guys?
So you can find the podcast on Instagram at I Spit in Your Mouth. Very simple, to the point. You can find me on Instagram at Dotty Spartans. That's DOTTYSPARTANS.
And you could find me. I have my professional, quote unquote. There's not much professional about me. But you could find me at Ghoulia Spartans, GHOULIA SPARTANS, or my other Instagram, which is just really a lot of pictures of my dogs. It's EMBOMBHER.
And then if you're looking for our podcast, you can go on to www.ispitinyourmouth.com. And if you
are COVID vaccinated, you feel free to spit in our mouths.
Please do. And we would love that. You can email us at ispitinyourmouthpodcast@gmail.com, and you can set that up with us so that we can spit in each other's mouths. We're also on Twitter.
We are?
We are on Twitter.
What's a fucking
I
Twitter?
literally have no idea how to use it, but I set one up
Twitter is.
as like trying to learn, and I still have not a fucking clue.
Dottie really just wants me tweeted dick pics.
Our Twitter is I Spit in Your Mouth, but it's like I spit in you are.
Oh no.
Mouth.
Delete
I spit
it.
in your mouth.
Delete it and redo
on Twitter.
it.
There's literally no other way to do it, girl.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Haunted Hangover.
And if you can rate and review us, that'd be greatly appreciated.
And remember, the best cure for a hangover is
more booze.
Booze.
Later, guys.